Hello, I'm Sam, and I'm here with the upcoming release schedule. In 2 weeks, we'll be looking at the 2015 novel Heir to the Jedi by Kevin Herron, and in 4 weeks, we'll be looking at two more five-issue miniseries Lando by Charles Soule and Alex Maleev, as well as Han Solo by Marjorie Liu and Mark Brooks. But for now, enjoy this episode on the two five-issue miniseries Princess Leia and Chewbacca.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It is a time of both hope and mourning within the rebellion. While on a secret mission to deliver stolen plans for the Death Star to the Rebel Alliance, Princess Leia Organa was captured by the Galactic Empire and forced to witness the battle station's power as it destroyed her home planet of Alderaan. With the help of a farm boy pilot and a fast-talking smuggler, Leia escaped her captors and completed her mission. Using the plans, the Alliance was able to destroy the Empire's ultimate weapon. Having proven themselves a formidable enemy to the Empire, the rebels are in more danger now than ever, leaving them with little time to celebrate their triumph or lament their loss.
Hello, and welcome to Crashing the Starfighter, the Star Wars Book Club podcast where one of the hosts can't say executor. I'm Sam,
I'm Emily.
and today we're looking at two five-issue miniseries. We're looking at Princess Leia, written by Mark Waid, with art by Terry Dodson, inking by Rachel Dodson, and colouring by Jordi Bellari. And we're looking at Chewbacca, written by Jerry Duggan, and with art by Phil Noto. Emily, how are you doing today?
Doing okay, yeah. Can't complain. How are you doing today?
I'm not too bad, not too bad.
Can I ask, are you the one who doesn't know how to say executor?
Yep, I
Or
have.
is that me because I'm paranoid?
I've had notes from last week's episode about a couple of my pronunciations, including me calling Vader's Star Destroyer the Executor when it's actually called the Executor, and calling Sienna Sienna. No, calling Sienna Sienna. That way round.
So, it's executor as in like the Pokemon.
It's Executor as in executive,
I'm just hearing the Pokemon. I
not
was wondering what
not
that had to do with
Executor
anything,
as in Vader is the Emperor's executor.
which would make a lot more sense, honestly,
I honestly
personally.
don't think I've ever
But
heard anyone say it out loud before, so I think I'm
it's
allowed to be
kind of like
confused.
it's like when people say the executor of the will. Is that a thing?
Yes, I'm a
That
will
would be a use
executor,
for it.
but that's a story for another time. Uh, give me. I'm going to ask you, what's one good thing that's happened to you in the last week?
Ooh. I bought a bubble tea this week. small,
You know
small,
what? I
nicenesses.
also had a bubble tea this week.
Yo,
So,
nice. What did you
so here,
have?
uh, it was in London, and it was just weird. It wasn't even tea. It was just milk. It was brown tea, milk, and bubbles. Brown sugar,
Yeah,
milk,
that's
and
the
bubbles.
best sort.
And it was really sweet. Felt kind of gross, but I loved it.
The best sort of experience to have with bubble tea, I think.
So here's the bubble tea, I guess.
Mood.
Before we move on to the comics, I asked a question at the end of the last episode. The question was, which of these comics is not collected in the Heroes for a New Hope hardcover? So there are four comic series, three of them are in this collection, one of them is not. I remind you of the series. They were Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Han Solo, and Lando. So Emily, did you have any idea which one of these might not be collected in this hardcover?
Ooh.
Heroes for a New Hope.
I remember being very confused by this question because it's just very, very strange. Um I don't know
Mhm.
much about the comics at all, so this would probably be a complete guess on my part. I'm gonna guess since we're looking at Leia and Chewbacca today that they might be related and contained in there. So I'm gonna go for one of the other two. I'm gonna go for Lando.
Ooh, I like your thinking that because we're doing this one first, both of these will be in the collection because it is completely right.
Whoa!
And this may not surprise you, but the one hero not in the Heroes for a New Hope hardcover is not Lando, who wasn't in A New Hope. It's Han
What?
Solo.
What?
Lando is
That
in this
makes no
collection.
sense.
Han Solo is not. Basically, there are three 2015 miniseries, which we're looking at today, and Lando, which we'll be looking at in a couple of weeks. And then in 2016, they did a Han Solo series, which is also set in the aftermath of A New Hope, like these other ones. But because it came out slightly later, it's not in this hardcover. I don't fully understand the reasoning, but that's the way it goes.
That's just the way it is, I suppose. Oh, that's
Yep.
interesting. Hmm.
First of all, I'm going to cut to my reviews for these pieces of media, what I think of both
Ooh,
Leia and Chewbacca, the two comics we're going to be looking at today, just going to get them both out of the way straight away. Princess Leia is a weird comic book in that even though I don't recommend it, I don't actively dislike it. It's a good core concept, beautiful art, and quite enjoyable, but there are some weird writing choices, meaning that sometimes it's hard to tell who's speaking in panels, and sometimes characters introduced and left with nothing until later issues. There are a few characters introduced in the very first issue, who, even though they're present in the story, don't get named until issue 4. Also, Princess Leia herself is weirdly characterized in this, coming off as harsh and cold. Chewbacca, I am much more favourable to. It's a story of a smaller scope and a smaller cast, but it works well for it. Chewbacca is, of course, communicating in growls, which leads to comedy and also a brisk pace. And the art by Phil Otto is beautiful to look at. I really enjoy this book. Okay, now that's done, I'm going to give you a bit of information on Leia as a series. So, it was released between March 4th and the 1st of July in 2015, and is the first Marvel miniseries of comics. It's written by Mark Waid, who's best known for DC's Kingdom Come, and this is so far his only Star Wars work. The art is by Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson, and Jordi Bellari, as I said before, and I have no notes on them as people. I hope they're nice.
can only hope.
You've read The Crawl. What do you think? Anything grab your attention?
It's very much by the books.
Hmm.
It's very to the point. I can't say too much about it because it's very much just as it happened. Really, they're
It's
they're
very much
basically
A New
just
Hope.
yeah. It's a new hope.
Hmm.
Not too much new information. In fact, not really any new information. But it's a good and succinct kind of summing up.
In your pack, if you open it, you
I
have.
will.
I've lost my copy of Princess Leia. I'm also gonna have to go on the drive. Oh well.
You do have a lot of comics, so
I have too many comics. If we go on to the Google Drive and go into your folder, you will see the
yep.
covers for these series.
Mhm.
And I'd like to look at the first cover for Princess Leia.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh, I've seen this cover before. I've
Hmm.
definitely seen this cover
This is
before.
the cover
I've
which
always
is
quite liked
on the
it.
front of a hardback, paperback.
Yeah,
If you see it on a shelf,
yeah,
it will be
really
this
nice.
cover.
Really nice art. I like it a lot.
Hmm. I remember them saying in an interview about from the artists that they didn't want to go with Carrie Fisher's likeness, but they wanted to make the Leia recognizably Leia.
Mm.
So they did it more through the costuming and just vibe, especially hair, and less
Yeah,
going photorealistic as some Star Wars artists do.
I think I prefer this approach. I quite like um art that looks like it has its own style, and they're not just using like screen caps from the movies as like really intense referencing for
Hmm.
each and every image they draw. Yeah, I quite like it. You can see it's Leia. It's definitely got her vibes. I
I
would
think she
say
even looks a bit Disney
100%.
princess in it, which I really like. It being
Yeah,
the first one
yeah,
since the
I
Disney
think you're right.
buyout, so she is kind of a Disney princess now.
I mean, yeah, she is.
If you don't go off fair rules,
That makes Ben a Disney prince.
don't you start.
I won't, I promise.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start going through the first issue. Um, so it opens on the medal ceremony. They're celebrating the Death Star being destroyed, and we take a moment to remember everyone that died in Alderaan. Leia is very much at the front, hands out medals, and it's literally like, let's have a pause for people who died in Alderaan. Moving
A
on,
round of
and
applause.
because of this, when everyone leaves, some of the rebel pilots are confused that Leia had very little to say on her home planet being destroyed. One of them has the line, "You know, royals, they don't show emotions to the plebs," and I just liked the word
Oof.
plebs being in Star Wars.
Yeah, it's canon now.
Yep, her dryness even concerns Luke. And he's like, when Ben died, you let me lean on you. I wish you could lean on literally anyone. Talk to someone.
Mm.
And then he also leaves. And one of the pilots who was there before is waiting in the throne. Everyone else has left. Leia then leaves. Oh, sorry, this pilot is honoring a statue of the Organas, which is
Okay.
already in the temple, even though they died like 3 minutes ago.
That's pretty convenient. They must have worked hard to get that to happen.
Leia, Leia then goes to meet General Dordana, but she goes past Admiral Akbar, who's angry at everyone around him for being human. He's like, "Your stupid meaty hands can't carry things." It's funny, and
Classic Akbar.
he is very aggressive. I'm glad he died.
Whoa, hang on. That went from 0 to 100 really fast.
A lot of people hate the last Jedi for many reasons, and one of them being that Akbar dies. I'm glad he's gone.
Actually,
He's
fuck that man in particular.
he's no Radis.
Well, he's not exactly my favourite. I'll say that for him. I won't be as
And
harsh as
didn't
you
even
were.
realize it was a trap until too late.
And that's like his one defining thing.
Yep. So Leia meets with Dordana, and he instantly calls her a senator, and like Ben stops and says like, "I guess you're not, because there's no Senate." It's like, "I want to be
Oof.
useful, I want to help," and Dordana's like, "No, just no. You're too important to us. If you go outside, there's going to be a big bounty on your head. The Empire is rounding up people from Alderaan, and Blaze wants to be useful." And this guy is like, "No, you're too valuable to be useful." Very
Mm.
much belittling her role. So she then goes and meets with a pilot who she saw staying behind after the ceremony, Yvonne, who, if you look at the cover for issue 2, you will get a look at Yvonne.
I will. I have permission. Oh, she's hot. That's my insightful commentary. I'm sorry.
Wow. I mean, you allowed it,
Um,
but
Listen, you've shown me an image of this woman, and I've made an observation.
there are more images
Okay.
of this woman, so prepare yourself.
Okay, I'm prepared.
So Yvonne is she's talking to another pilot, and she refers to Leia as the Ice Princess, and Leia is very harsh about this. She just
Ooh.
snaps at another one of the other pilot, tells him to go away, and she talks to Yvonne, and it turns out Yvonne is from Alderaan, and she was a big loyalist. She trained under Leia's mother, and she doesn't think that Leia is doing enough to preserve Alderaanian culture. And
Mm.
because of this, Leia says that she has an idea, and pulls Yvonne with her, leaves. At night time, Dodano is in his bed, and he wakes up to see R2-D2 in his room. And R2-D2 does his old trick, a holographic message of Leia, and she is like, "Look, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go try and find people from Alderaan before the Empire do and save them." And Dana's like, "Nope, you're not doing that," and goes to try and shut R2 off. But it turns out R2 was also a hologram. It was a
Oh my
hologram
god,
projecting
whoa.
a hologram. Where was the R2 hologram being projected from? Don't think about it. Because R2 is actually on a
Already.
starship, flying with Ivan and
What?
Leia away from Yavin.
There's already been such a twist. That threw me for a loop there. I will be honest. I was about to go off and be like, "That's not what you want. You don't want to wake up and see R2-D2 just like menacingly standing in the corner of your room." But he wasn't even
Queen
there.
Padme did it once, and then she went back to bed, and suddenly there was this guy on her bed with a light stick.
Oh
R2 must be
no.
guarding me. Who let this guy in? And then Obi-Wan jumped out her window. Wild night.
Yeah.
So, in the ship, Leia is asking Ivan like, "So we're doing this. Do you think it's a good idea now? Now it's too late for you to say no." And Ivan's like, "Look, Dodana's going to waste so many of Rebellion's resources trying to get you back. It's not worth it." And Leia's like, "Good point. We're still doing it." And on cue, Luke and Leia fly their X-wings up behind. Like, "Leia, what you're doing is dumb. Everyone's saying it. Even R2 probably thinks it's dumb. I can't understand him yet. Come back to Yavin with us." And Ivan like is flying, and she accidentally knocks their ship into one of the X-wings, and the hyperdrive gets broken. And Leia's like, "This is your plan all along. You didn't want this. You wanted this mission to fail from the start." And Luke It's like, the hyperdrive's gone, it's all fine, and Van's like, watch this. Psych! The hyperdrive still works, away they go. She had a
Yo,
fake hyperdrive on there just to
shut
do a
a
little
fake
trick.
hyperdrive.
Yep,
Damn, Leia's got tricks. That's what I'm gonna say.
this isn't Leia, this is a Van.
Or this is all Yvonne.
Yep.
Whoa, Yvonne's got
Leia
tricks
is
then.
so impressed. She's like, Ivan, I like what you're about. Can we be friends? And Ivan's like, no.
I kind of love this woman, not gonna lie. She's great.
Leia then decides they should go to Naboo because it was the Emperor's homeworld, and it just seems like a good. Oh yeah, she knows about an Alderaanian music group there,
Ooh,
and
what
that's the
kind
end
of
of issue
music?
1.
Oh,
Not jizz.
not jizz, not jizz music, so therefore I'm not interested.
I'm not sure. It's an Alderaanian cloister that make music and then they holo project it because they don't want to actually leave their bubble because they don't want to infect themselves with outside influences.
It's actually really interesting. That's kind of cool. So they're like eliminating all of their outside influences, and I'm like, but how can they make good art if it's not responding to? I was going to go off on a whole thing. You need to
Feel
be glad
free.
I'm not. No,
No, go off about art, Emily. We'll allow it this once.
no, no, I really shouldn't.
We were both
There
art
are
students.
we were both art students. This is true, but we have two whole comic series to go through this episode.
Okay. So inside the ship, Leia and Ivan are sharing a meal of risa. It's this weird Alderaanian vegetable type thing. And Leia has a flashback. Ivan asks, "Do you like it?" And Leia has this flashback of like Bale trying to teach her about politics. Uh, and then they eat this food and she doesn't like it. And Bale is going through like all the process that goes through this food and how much politics goes through it to like get this food around. And Leia's like,
Hmm.
yeah, I like this food. I didn't used to, but I do now because it reminds me of my daddy-o.
Aw, that's quite sweet.
Ivan and Leia then land in the city of Kiran on Naboo. And like when they land, they're met by a guy at the docks. You see the first Pirates of the Caribbean. Imagine that guy. I need a name for the ship.
Oh,
And
I've
Leia
definitely
panics.
seen it.
She's like, I'm an Imperial and put down the name First Minister Solo.
Foreshadowing.
And in this scene, Ivan is just cosplaying Luke, like the black shirt, the white jacket type thing. It's scary how many of Ivan's outfits are just stolen from Luke's wardrobe.
Again, I kind of love this woman.
As they're walking through the town, Leia sees a stained glass window of Padme Amidala. She imagines it turns to her, and she's like, "I recognize this one, but I don't know where." But at that moment, a voice behind goes, "Ah, Leia Organa!" And it's this guy called Lord June, who is an old friend and takes him back to his place. Ivan,
Lord
of course, doesn't
June.
trust this stranger. Yep, Lord June.
Lord June.
He has like a
Sorry.
creepy goatee.
Oh no.
You know the
Bad
type.
vibes.
Back to his place. Ivan doesn't trust him. She's like, here, there's a price on your head. And this guy seems a bit seedy, but Leia's like, nope, old friend. Do you know about this nightclub? Like, where you can find it? And she's like, oh, yes, I have a contact there. Go there, use my name at the door, and you'll get through. Meanwhile, in this band, the band have a handler called Uwa, who uh, who is getting a message about Alderaan, but doesn't want the band to hear about it. She's worried that hearing what the planet is destroyed will just completely mess up their vibes and ruin the artistry.
That's fucked
But
up.
one of the band's members, Tace, really comes in and wants to talk to her sister because she has a feeling that something's wrong.
Oh
She
no.
can't concentrate on her music. The handler is like, it was like, no, no, no. Wait until the next song's finished and then you can come speak. Leia and Ivan arrive at this club and are greeted by the owner, who's a basilisk, one of those Dexter forearm guys.
Mm.
And because they think that Leia is an Imperial rounding up Odoranians, because that's the cover she had at the dock, and it's what Jun said. Fiona's like, he'll not let the band go. Correction, he will let the band go. Because of Leia's cover, because of Leia's cover as an Imperial, he's like, look, don't want to mess with you. You can have them, but first, if you want to come in and see them, give your weapons. Meanwhile, the band's handler, I'm just going to say Uwa looks out the window,
Mm.
recognizes Leia, and as they hand over their weapons, Yvonne says, Mom, I have a bad, and Leia's like, no, no, I know, me too. At that point, the Basilisk points to the door. It's like, in there, princess. And it's like, what did you call me? The Basilisk's like, oh shit. And the fight starts.
Cover's blown.
Everyone's
Oh,
shooting, Yvonne's shooting. R2 pulls out like this electric wire,
fuck
that
your
shoots
R2.
someone. When it's over, the club's owner comes out and starts holding the princess hostage. And that's when the band's handler comes out, just stuns him. It's like, princess, you've come to save us.
Can I make a suggestion?
What's the suggestion?
Can we refer to the band's handler as the bandler from now on?
The bandler. Oh, what a bandler.
The Mandalorian.
Oh no.
This is going too far.
Ah, this is so far from the Mandalorian of the first episode.
Oh,
The bandler.
I feel quite
I've
Grandalorian about it.
I've been completely derailed by this.
I'm so sorry. So, where were we? A fight is just broken out.
The fight's over. It's
And
over
the fight is
already.
over. The fight is over.
Leia, Yvonne, and R2 clean up house. The club's owner comes out and is holding Leia hostage like, Yvonne, drop your weapon. I don't know your name, but never mind. Then the bandler comes out and stuns the club's owner. It's like, Leia, come meet the band. Give us your outside influences. They go through to the band. Leia gives a speech about how our planet's destroyed. We have to join together. And then she goes back to Juns. And she's like, ma'am, I'm really hurt by your betrayal. Jun's like, what do you mean? I'm a friend. Come on. You told the club I was going there. How else would they know who I was?
Totally.
You can make up for it if you give us your ship. So they take Lord Jun's ship, also called the Lord Jun, uh, and they give that one to refugees. They keep their ship, and they leave for Sullust.
I'm sorry, it's just really funny that that guy named that ship after himself.
It's a Lando move. I can imagine Lando having a ship called the Lando.
The Lando. Oh,
It's like a more Lando move than Lando.
he's out Lando'd Lando before Lando even, like, I was about to say existed. That's totally wrong. Before Lando showed up.
Before Lando came to be.
Lando was actually born the day that they showed up in Cloud City.
This issue ends with a reveal that Tace's sister is alive. She's contacting her, and she's working for the Empire. Tace doesn't realize this.
No way. Was she always
Yes
working for the
way.
Empire?
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Ah, in the next
Moving on
episode.
to issue 3's cover.
Okay, let's have a look.
Oh, never mind. In your pack, there is some art from issue 2.
Also, there is.
It's where they land, so you can get a taste of the interior art, and you can see Yvonne's Luke cosplay.
That literally is a Luke cosplay. Seriously. I think that
It's
she
a
stole
work of
his
art.
jacket. It is.
Or maybe he stole her jacket.
That's true, actually. Maybe she's the original.
He was wearing that jacket at the medal ceremony, wasn't he? That's the one
Maybe
time he wears it.
maybe something happened afterwards.
She saw him there and was like, well, that's the new fashion.
I love that we
So,
went in two very different places there.
oh no. Oh, I mean, we know nothing like that happens. From Spring will cover very soon.
Okay.
So onto issue 3's cover, and you get Leia, Yvonne, Evan, not Yvonne. You get Leia, Yvonne, and R2 in a cave.
They are in a cave, I can see this.
So in orbit around Sullust, Tace is telling her sister exactly where they are and what Princess Leia is planning.
Mhm.
Tace's sister tells the Imperial officer behind, we need to set a course to Sullust. And he mentions that, like, you're doing a good job now, but I don't trust you too much
Hmm.
because I'm waiting for your betrayal. especially since you're so easily you're so easily betraying your own family. Why would you be loyal to the Empire? And
I
Mrs. is
mean,
like, oh,
good point.
that was a bit uncalled for. On Celeste, a Celestian smuggler is taking Leia and Ivan to an Alderaanian enclave who are buried beneath the ground. They purchased this land for themselves. They're doing their own things there. They're kind of cut off again. And the leader of this enclave really doesn't like these people intruding. So she sends some guards out. Leia instantly takes out the guard they sent after her and goes into the leader's base.
She kills him?
Oh no, no death, just captured.
Oh, thank God.
I'm sorry, that was my wording.
I was about to be like, Jesus.
So he lets them go into the enclave where we meet Preserver Jura Astain. The enclave, it turns out, is a communication center, and they heard about the Imperials collecting Alderaanians, so they're kind of skeptical if this is real Leia. Real Leia could be dead, and this could be a spy. This isn't helped by the fact that they just scanned the Lord Jun, and it turns out that it made a transmission to an Imperial Star Destroyer. Like, you say you're not with the Empire, but this is a bit sus. And Leia's like, that is a bit sus. What's happening up there? And sure enough, that's an Imperial cruiser comes in from orbit.
Oh, God.
The Preserver assumes that Leia's the one who led them here, so she calls all her guards on Leia, but Leia manages to escape into the sewers with Ivan and R2 as the Empire begin their attack. Underground, R2 had this idea of leading this native creature called the Rock Renders into the battle. Ivan's like, what are you doing? This is dumb. But I was like, no, it's genius. They won't attack the Alderaanians because they don't like eating meat. They eat a very specific mineral, which is in Stormtrooper armor. So this creature's just ripping into the Stormtroopers, giving the Alderaanians a chance to escape. And once they get out of the enclave, running to the surface, the Preserver gets at people. It's like, everyone, take a good look at this woman, pointing at Leia. Take a look at her.
Look at
And
her.
kneel before Princess of Alderaan. Because you think she's going to be aggressive, but then it turns out Leia offers the Enclave safety on her ship. It's like, we have a spy to catch.
So who's the spy?
We'll have to find out. I think we know who the spy is.
I mean, yeah, I think the funniest thing is that whenever you say something and then I respond and I'm just like, but who's the spy? And you're just like, obviously we're going to find out that during the narrative, Emily.
I mean, it's obviously Tace, who doesn't realise she's a spy, but is contacting her sister. She doesn't realise is working for the Empire, but is working for the Empire, and that's what they think, and it's all mixed messages, but if you want me to skip through the story, Emily, I can just...
That's not the point.
At the end, Princess Leia dies. Is that what you want? Princess Leia dies, and she's replaced with Leia, with two eyes, who is slightly taller.
Oh god, this is just like Solo all over again. There's another layer to this entire thing.
No. If you look at the issue 4 cover, because we're now on issue 4.
Are you going to cut the puns out? Because
I'm actually going to try and edit this episode less, because editing the last one took so long.
Oh no.
I realised that I'm still replying to everything you say with, yep. So the issue 4 cover.
Okay.
I think this might be my favourite cover in the series.
It's very cool. I like the fact that we've still got the Luke jacket going on here in the corner.
Yep. So it's kind of a purpley, bluey sky, like a gradient, and there's a moon behind Leia, there's 3 stormtroopers beneath her, then there's, in the corner, you have R2 and Ivan in the Luke cosplay.
There's some
It's very
bisexual
pleasing.
lighting going on here.
Yep, it's much like Elsa singing Show Yourself at the end of Frozen 2. Not sure what to read from it, but Disney won't follow through on it anyway.
Yeah, Disney have no comments.
Bob Iger has no comment at this time.
Mike has nothing to say about the bisexual lighting within the Princess Leia from issue 4 cover.
Kathleen Kennedy on the other hand, this is all
Oh
her
yeah,
fault, ruining Star Wars. In fact, I bet Ryan Johnson drew his cover personally.
exactly. I bet he pitched this to her and she went, "You know what, Ryan? This is a great idea. This will really piss the fan base off.
While you're here, would you like a movie?
Would you like 3 movies?"
I feel like the last episode had some semblance of structure, and this one's just it's falling apart every second.
I think maybe it's because firstly I think it's because we did a novel for the last one, so there was a lot of
Mhm.
like long form storytelling, whereas you've got a lot more breaks in between issues for us to be stupid on this
Yep.
one.
And we're making good time. So
Oh,
let's
oh,
continue.
nice.
Issue
Let's.
4. The Lord Jun, the ship, not the person, is being visited by the Mailcrawler, the ship of the smuggler Nine Num, who is a
Mm,
Celestian. You might recognize the
I know
name.
this man. I do.
He occasionally eventually joins the rebellion,
Oh,
and he's delivering them weapons. It's like, oh, thank you, Nine. It's good to see you again. I hope to see you again soon. At that moment, Jorah comes in with Tace. And this is the first time Tace is named in this whole series. She's been in it since issue 2. Major character,
wait,
not named until
what?
this point.
They don't
Yep.
name her?
Nope.
What? She's okay. That's a
It's,
choice,
it's,
but I'm sure
it's one of the
it's
reasons
fine.
it's one of the reasons I kept getting confused with Bandler's name, because Oa isn't named until a later issue as well. So I went back
Uh,
to my notes and I added their names earlier, but I didn't replace it every single time. So in my notes, it's still the band's handler, but yeah,
the Bandler.
the bandler. Jorah's
uh,
like, "This is the spy. We've caught her." And Leia's like, "No, no, no. That's nothing I always say. No, no, no.
no,
Release
no.
her." And Jorah does that and then walks away in a huff. Leia sits down with Tace and has a cup of tea and learns about her sister. And the sister is finally named as well. The sister's called Tula, and Leia theorizes that maybe Tula's an Imperial prisoner, and Tace didn't realize. And the Empire forcing her to take messages and pretend it's all fine.
Mm.
And Tace is like, Tace agrees because she doesn't think that Tula will be making this choice freely. So Leia makes a plan for Tace to feed Tula false information on the next call. Because she's being held up on the planet they've gone to, Esperion, Jura and Ua, so the Bandler and the Enclave's preserver, are being sent down in her place. They meet with a
Okay.
native
Yes.
called Conless Rill. And the natives are kind of these red, devilish-looking people. And they find the Alderaan leader on the planet called Bional. And
I'm really trying hard with the names. I really want you to know that I'm trying so hard with the names.
there's a lot of names, and they're very
There's so
Star
many in
Wars
this one.
names. Bional was a great name,
Mm.
but
It is.
it turns out that he's
It
only
is
a
a great
half
name. How?
Alderanian.
What is his other half?
These weird red devil people.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yep,
If I could see him, it would probably help.
yep, probably. But Jorah is disgusted by this. She thought that Leia would be preserving true, pure Alderaan heritage, but Ua tries to keep the peace, but Bion is just outraged with this and leaves. Back on the ship.
Yeah, not surprising.
I know, right? I'm glad that Star Wars is
Racism in my
finally.
Alderaan.
I'm glad that Star Wars is finally addressing racism. It's about time.
Finally.
Man, I hope it gets fascism at some point as well.
That's great. That was very good. +2.
I want more fascism in my media.
I hope that Star Wars finally gets around to tackling, stuff about the industrial prison complex.
Where's my novel about where's my novel about space Nazi Hogwarts?
Space Nazi Hogwarts. Yeah, and in this novel about space Nazi Hogwarts,
I
all of
need
the
it.
villains, all of the villains are goblins, And those goblins are intensely Jew-coded. I'm sure nothing will go wrong with that at all.
Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights.
So on the ship, uh, on the call, Tula instantly realizes that taste doesn't sound right. So the other Imperial officer locks her up and takes over, and Leia offers an exchange. Herself for Tula.
Mm.
Leia says to Ivan that Tarkin would have destroyed Alderaan if Leia hadn't joined the rebellion in the first place, but Ivan tells her that she's incorrect about that. I don't know if she is incorrect, like if Leia wasn't part of a rebellion, would Alderaan have been destroyed?
Question, actually, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe not, but consoling friend Ivan is like, no, 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 you're wrong, you're wrong. And Leia says to R2, I'll see you on the other side. And there's two Alderaanians just overhearing this, and one of them's like, hear that? The other side, the princess expects to die. And then the other one says, yeah, and go to droid heaven? I just
What?
really love that exchange.
And
Because
go
she's
to
saying she's on the other side to R2.
Oh.
It's just a real.
And go to droid heaven.
It's a dumb exchange, but I love it.
That is very good, actually.
So Rill, who you may remember, is the guy, the planet's native from
Yes.
Vesperion.
Okay, yeah.
He's saying that they've really offended. They've really offended beyond all. But if Leia herself was here, it might make a difference. It would prove it would really matter. And Noah says that she'll try to arrange this.
Leia
Message
can
the
end
ship.
racism.
Is Leia up there? No, she's gone to hand herself over to some Imperials for an Imperial. What? And they go to the desert planet of Skaradosh for the exchange. The small ship comes. The small ship they're on comes out of hyperspace and there's a Star Destroyer right there. So they goes down to a planet. On the planet, there's their ship, and there's a Lander class shuttle. And Leia asks for proof that her people are going to be allowed to leave. The Imperial commander, who is Commander Dreed, says that they'll just have to work on trust. You're not Dreed. If you go to the next image in the folder, you have the answer to this exchange.
Oh.
It's a nice little standoff. And if you go to panel 3, it's a little exchange between Tula and Leia.
Tula's cute, yeah.
Thank you, Your Highness. Do better, Tula. That will be my thanks.
Do better, Tula.
Do better.
Imagine Princess Leia telling you to do better. I think I would just die at that point. I think that would be it for me.
Yep. And that's how the issue ends.
Well, okay. Interesting. We've got a lot of characters on the go in this one.
Yep, too many. Too many characters. So the exchange is almost over. Then the Mailcrawler comes in and kills all the Imperials. And they make a comment that Nine is such a good smuggler that he managed to smuggle his own ship past the Star Destroyer. And I would argue that's not how smuggling works.
That's literally not smuggling. That's being stealthy, I think.
And they question, you've managed to get in here. Okay, we're not going to question it, but how are you going to get us out? And to do this, he uses a decoy, like flare type things. So the Empire starts shooting. He manages to make an explosion, so they think the ship's been destroyed. They jump to hyperspace. For Star Destroyer, obviously what he knows where the Alderaanians are because of Tula's old messages. And there's like, we're going to have to get everyone scatter the fleet. Thank God there's so few of us. Of course, they jump out of hyperspace, and there's a whole fleet there. A bunch of people have heard about Leia trying to save Alderaanians, heard that she was here somehow. Maybe all just come to this planet to join her.
Join her?
On one hand, she now has a bunch of Alderaanians, so her mission isn't entirely pointless. On the other hand, there's going to be a Star Destroyer there very soon.
Yeah, they didn't think that through.
Yep.
Hmm.
On the Lord John for shipping up the person, it turns out that Tace has cut her hair so she won't be confused for her traitor sister. When Leia and Tula come back to the ship, Tula is of course very hurt by this. Leia then finds
Hmm.
out that negotiations on the planet below failed and those Alderaanians will be joining us because Jorah is a bigot.
Great.
But Leia is panicking at this point. She's like, there's a whole fleet here, I can't get all these people out of here. What do I do? And everyone's like, it's okay, Leia. You're my friend, and I know you'll know what's best. So Yvonne and friendship maxed out.
True. But we still don't have the backstory.
No. Leia decides that the way to go through this is we can't evacuate quick enough, so we're gonna have to fight. So she transmits a message to the fleet, and I will now read that message to you.
Okay, I'm ready.
To every Alderaanian within the sound of my voice, this is Princess Leia Organa. To the newcomers, I would ordinarily be grateful that you responded to my call for unity, but as things stand today, I wish you hadn't come. An Imperial Star Destroyer is heading in this direction and will reach us within minutes. There is no time to escape by standard lanes, no time to attain hyperspace. It wants to kill the last Alderaanians, and without the Esperion fleet by our side, I'm afraid it has the power to do the job. But we will not surrender. We will defend ourselves. But we won't last. But we won't land. One more blow than necessary. We are not our enemy. We are Alderaan.
Whoa.
We answer rage with wisdom. We answer fear with imagination. We answer war with hope. And if one single drop of Alderaan blood survives, Alderaan survives. If one life for the passion of Alderaan creativity survives, Alderaan survives. And we are, each one of us, important.
Whoa.
And whatever
Big.
happens, I bow to you and to our future. And it just goes on a bit too long, I feel.
Yeah, I thought it was going to end like 3 times. It was a good speech, though. I
You're
suppose you
reading
could
through
say,
it,
yeah.
and it's like a few lines per panel. It's like you turn pages 3 times and it's still going on.
She's still going. Good God. She could really sum that up in like a lot fewer words.
Yep.
But the most important thing is that Alderaan is a people, not a place.
In my notes here, the last line of my notes is, in the words of Thor in 2017's For
Yes.
Ragnarok, Alderaan is not a place, it's a people. And that's an
Yes.
ending I
Yes.
stole from this comic.
Same brain cells. We have the same brain cells. Oh, amazing.
uh,
So
so
is
the
that how the
Starship has
comic ends?
arrived.
Oh no, it's not. It's
No,
not. There's more. There's
Starship
more.
has
Okay.
arrived. The Alderaanian fleet are just throwing themselves at it. It's not going well. But luckily, the fleet from far below do arrive and save the day. It turns out that Beorn heard the speech because R2 beamed the speech specifically to him. And again, it makes you wonder if R2 can just beam the speech to a planet. Why wasn't this an original plan? But it doesn't matter.
True.
Leia's like, oh, R2. And Beorn agrees that since Leia was so eager to defend their planet, even though he wouldn't join her, maybe it's not too bad to join this Alderaan thing again. So Leia asks Beorn uh, if he's worried about the Empire attacking Espeon back, and Beorn's reply is that they'd need a big force to do so. So, kind of just probably not. Don't worry about
Probably
it.
not.
If there's another story, there's another
Yeah,
story. If there's not, there's not.
it'll be all right.
Yvonne asks Leia what's next, and Leia plans to return to the Rebel fleet. Yvonne argues that the Alderaan needs their princess, and Leia tells them to just elect one. And that is how the comic ends.
Whoa,
So,
that was really
what are your
good.
thoughts about it, besides how many people there are?
How many people there are? There are a lot of people. Um, I have a lot of questions about a lot of things.
Hmm.
Lord Jin,
Go for it.
Lord Jun, The person, not the
Lord
ship.
Jun,
Was he a traitor?
Gunn.
Gunn.
Yes.
So he was a traitor. He was actually just a dick.
Yep.
Whoa.
They did everything to make him look suspicious. You're sure they're gonna subvert your expectations?
But no, he was
But
just a,
no.
a bad dude for no reason, apparently.
Yep.
He had no motivations.
hmm
I really
This
like.
this
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Before I give my opinions, give
I
me
was gonna
yours.
say, I like Yvonne. I think she's cool.
Mhm.
I don't know if I've mentioned.
She may be back.
Yeah, I would like to see her back. She's cool.
Any other thoughts?
Ooh,
Do you finally understand what it means to be an Alderaanian?
I do understand what it means to be an Alderaanian. I think that you have to answer a war with hope. You have to answer
Mhm.
something with imagination, and
Yep. Fear of
it's
imagination.
with yeah, you have to answer fear with imagination, and really you need to remember that it is a people, not a place. Even though apparently Alderaan was like it was like really nice. I know that's going to be like a really obvious thing to
Mhm.
say for like Star Wars fans and stuff, but like Alderaan seems like it was like just the best place ever. People talk about it like
We
there was
haven't actually
nothing wrong
seen it
with
that
it.
much.
Really?
Yeah, I think besides the uh, besides one of the ending scenes in uh, Revenge of the Sith,
Mm.
Kenobi's the most we've seen of it, really.
Yeah. I haven't seen Kenobi, so maybe it is
Oh,
bad, and I just do not
spoilers.
know. Spoilers. No, I know some of the happenings in Kenobi. I know what happens
hmm
generally, but I just haven't seen the whole show.
Yeah. My issue with this comic, because this is
Hmm.
one that I don't rush to revisit, is some of the storytelling I have issues with. Like Nyan just smuggling his own ship past an Imperial blockade, or
Yeah.
the hologram of R2 for no reason.
Yeah, where was
Um,
that hologram coming from? If R2 was up on that ship.
mhm. Also, some of the dialogue gets a bit confused. Like, I'm confused who's speaking
Hmm.
because it feels like it should be one of the characters that's coming out of one of the other characters' mouths. But my main issue with this comic is I feel like it should have been more than 5 issues. It doesn't really give anything enough time to breathe.
Yeah, you don't really learn too much. Um,
hmm
you don't learn too much that's new about any of the characters, really. It's all just kind
It
of like
introduces many, but it gives none of them time to develop.
yeah, yeah. It's all very shallow. It's just like this is this person, this is what this person does, and this is this person's general view on Leia and on on Alderaan, on the Empire. But we don't delve any deeper into that. Like as much as I like Yvonne because I think that she's kind of a badass, I don't know anything
hmm
about her really.
You know that
When
she's
you
a
think about
royalist.
it, I know she's a royalist,
You know
which
she was trained by Leia's mum.
do know that. That is
What
fair.
more do you need?
But no, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know who her
Yeah, I
family
get what
was.
you mean.
That sort of thing. She could have some nefarious motivations at some point. I do not know.
hmm
That would be cool, actually. And also, where
But
does
you
she
know
get
she will be
Luke's
back.
jacket? She will be back.
But that's the biggest question. But I can tell you, spoilers for next episode, not from Luke.
Not from Luke. Okay, cool.
The next comic we're going to do is going to be an entirely different vibe. But before that,
Okay.
I'd like to do a little discussion of the Star Wars media we have coming out in 2023.
Ah,
So the year has already been off to a running start with the Battle of Jeddah audio drama, 6 hours of audio drama content from Face of the High Republic already released, as well as 4 episodes of A Bad Batch so far.
nice.
The content has started. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to list things. If you want to talk about things, let me know. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bunch of stuff. So,
Okay, cool.
TV wise, animated, we have Bad Batch currently airing. We have season 2 of Star Wars Visions coming out. Did you watch any Star Wars
Ooh,
Visions?
I did not. I've been meaning to actually watch it, but I've just not gotten around to it.
It's an
Was it good?
interesting series. I have an issue
Hmm.
of anthology. Like, I don't think any anthology has a full roster of perfect episodes, but Visions has a lot of fun. the main switch of season 2 is season 1 was all Asian animation houses, whereas season 1 is more global, so it's going to be European animation, there's going to be American animation. I'm very interested to see the kind of stuff that is developed. I'm really hoping the UK one is going to be Aardman, even though it probably won't be,
Oh, that would be
because
so
that would be great.
cool. Oh, that would be
Um,
amazing.
and French animation, I haven't seen a French animation I don't like, so I'm very excited to see what the French do.
I really need to
We
like
also
buckle
have,
down and watch the first series for sure.
go for it. It's they're all shorts, so between 15 and 20 minutes. I
Oh,
think there's only
cool.
9 episodes.
Nice, yeah.
Plus, we can then farm it for content on here. We also have Young Jedi Adventures, which is the first kind of preschool animated Star Wars show. It
Oh,
follows a group of young Jedi, as the title implies, but it's set in the High Republic era, and they've done a marketing still. It looks very cute. I'm excited for this show. I think this is the most anticipated show I have for this year, and considering it's aimed at middle graders, I'm probably going to be disappointed, but I'm very
no, you never
excited.
know. I mean, people have been enjoying a lot
I just
of.
like good
There's a lot of stuff that's
animation.
come out recently, children's media that people are enjoying, like Bluey and stuff like that, that people have been really,
Yep.
really enjoying for what it is.
My
So
favorite
you
show
never
is
know.
Steven Universe, which aims a bit higher, but it is a
Mm,
really light and fluffy kids show.
mm.
So I'm more in the audience for it than a lot of my friends.
Yeah,
But
I hope you
I,
enjoy it.
as long as the animation's good, I'm sure I'll like it.
Yeah.
Moving on to the live action series. In March, we have Mando season 3.
Woo! My boy.
hmm We
Ah,
just saw the trailer for that, but I'm going to save discussion for that until the end.
absolutely.
But I think we're both excited.
Absolutely, yes.
Other live action series planned for this year are Ahsoka, which will be out at some point, probably.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's going to be a thing.
It seems like it's going to be more and more of a Rebel sequel with each piece of news coming out for it,
I bet you are
which
so
I'm kind of
excited.
sad about.
Oh,
I'm kind of
really?
sad about it. Rebels is my favorite Star Wars show, as I said in the first episode of this.
Mm,
Uh, but I'm also a big fan of animation, and I kind of wish that Rebel story was continued in that medium.
that's more than fair.
I'm very cautious of this, especially when it being sucked into the whole Mandoverse thing. Like, I watched a lot of the Arrowverse on CW. I know what
Mm,
these extended universe TV shows can be like, especially when it comes to crossovers. And I'm kind of cautious about this whole thing. I thought the worst episodes in Mando season 2 when it was backdoor piloting other things,
yeah.
like the Ahsoka episode. um, so I'm very cautious about this whole era as much as I like Mando. But I'm
Mm.
sure I'll be one round instantly when I see Rebels cast return.
I hope it surprises you in a good way, for sure.
Mhm. Fingers crossed. We also have another live action show called Skeleton Crew, which is, I think, also part of the Mandoverse.
Ooh, I haven't
The
heard
lead
about this one.
creators on it, it's going to star Jude Law, I think.
Whoa.
And the creators on it are John Watts and Christopher Ford, who are
Mm.
two of the lead creatives on the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. So
Oh,
again, it's
yo.
more Marvel people coming over to Star Wars. Really no
Interesting.
idea what to expect from it, but it will be a thing.
It will be a thing. No, very interested to see what comes out of that.
Moving on to video games, we only have 2 video games confirmed this year, which is a lot considering EA's track record. We have
True.
Jedi Survivor, the Fallen Order sequel, which is also coming out in March, Mando start of the month, this end of month. It's coming out to Windows, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series consoles.
Nice.
It will also have a prequel book, which takes place between the 2 games called Battle Scars. You haven't played Fallen Order. I have. I'm very excited for these things.
Is Fallen Order really good?
I adore it. It's not my favorite Star Wars game, but it's a really good game. It's
Nice.
kind of goes through a PlayStation school of thought where it's really cinematic, single player. Um, the design reminds me of the modern Tomb Raider games mixed
Mm.
with From Software.
Yeah, I would say from what I've seen of it, that kind of checks out. I always thought there was a little bit of
hmm
Horizon in there as well, maybe.
Yes,
Wha-
Horizon is like the pinnacle of modern game for me. I don't dislike it, but it is The Witcher 3 or it is the modern Assassin's Creed. It's in that kind of pool of stuff,
Yeah,
which I guess this kind of falls into. It would be more so if it had ranged combat. The lightsaber kind of gives it more of a From Software combat stance, but I can definitely
yeah.
see the comparison.
There's a lot of like obviously I haven't played this game, but I'm only going on what
Mhm.
I've seen. There's a lot of stuff that you can change about your lightsaber as well in these games from what I've seen.
Yep, the lightsaber customization is one of the best features.
And I've
Also, the
seen
character customization is just ponchos. And
just
you know how I feel
ponchos.
about ponchos.
Hell yeah. Still better than the character customization in Pokemon Scarlet Violet where, you just get to wear a school uniform.
I'm not going to touch that game.
I I'm not going to turn this into a Pokemon thing. I am a massive, massive Pokemon fan, and I do defend Scarlet and Violet, but there are some points where I can't, and that's one of them.
When I started playing Sword and Shield recently, I was like 5 hours in. I said I loved it. And I was like, "What do you like?" I was like, "I like that I've already customized my character so that in an outfit I like." What about Pokemon? Oh, they're fine.
Oh, they're all right. They're okay.
So the no cap for school uniform thing is kind of a hang up. I'm not going to get past.
That's fair enough. It is not great, but and I'm gonna let us move on after this one little tangent. I did see somebody made a mod for it for like a hack switch where they just replaced all of the school uniforms with like Versace and like Gucci and like Supreme clothes, and it was just really funny.
That's I'm not sure if that's horrible or great, but I'm here for it. The other game we have coming out this year is called Star Wars Hunters, and it's been on the release schedule for a while. It's a team-based battler, kind of like Overwatch or Team Fortress,
Ooh,
and it's coming to Switch, iOS, and Android.
that's really
So I'm not
interesting
sure
to
how the
me.
monetization is going to be for this, but
Yeah,
it's going to be a thing. This is
it's
one
gonna
I'm
be a
probably
thing.
not going to play, but it is coming out.
I'll be interested to have a look at it. Um,
Mhm.
because I quite like a team shooter, like a team
You can be
battler,
the
I
one to
guess.
report back on that one.
Mm. Yeah, maybe I can maybe I will, especially if it ends up being a free to play model, which a lot of these games
Mhm.
tend to be these days. I'll definitely check it
Yeah,
out.
something I like to stick away from because I should not be trusted with those things.
Fair enough.
Book-wise, we have a few books announced. I'm sure there's going to be more than what we have down here, but so far we know. I think we know about 3 or 4. So we have an Inquisitor book called
Ooh,
Rise of the Red Blades, and this is going to be about an Inquisitor who appeared in a comic series and hasn't really been given a spotlight since.
oh nice.
We're also going to be continuing with the High Republic. We're currently in Phase 2, which is kind of a prequels of the High Republic era, and Phase 3 is meant to start before the end of the year. If I was smart, I would have a list of all the High Republic books coming out,
It's
but I haven't, so let me just look one up.
gonna be a whole thing when me and you go into the High Republic on this.
I actually have a plan of when I want to start that.
Oh no,
Whether we're going to meet that, I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes.
yeah.
Fill some time for me, Emily.
What would you like me to do? Do you want me to complain more about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Listen. Listen, I'm all right with a lot of things about this game. It is one of the most engaging stories that we've had in a Pokemon game. No spoilers, obviously, because you didn't come here for Pokemon spoilers. It's one of the most engaging stories that we've had in a Pokemon game for a very, very long time. The characters are great and all that. The gameplay is fantastic, but like they need to hire some people to do graphics for the love of God. Like I don't understand. This is the top grossing company in the world. Why can't they hire like a team of people to make them something that doesn't look like it's come off of the PS1? I don't understand. Baffles me
I'm back.
daily. Okay, you're back.
Hi. So, High Republic Phase 2, we have Star Wars Cataclysm coming out on April 4th. We have Quest for Planet X coming out on April 4th. Cataclysm is an adult novel. Quest for Planet X is a junior novel. And we have Path of Vengeance, the young adult novel, coming out on May the 2nd.
What?
Then there is Rise of Redblade, which I just mentioned, July 18th. And I think that's it for new books announced so far.
Mostly
Yep,
High
but
Republic stuff.
like I said, Phase 3 will be starting for the end of the year, apparently. So there'll be more books for that, and I'm sure we'll announce more of Star Wars Celebration, Comic Cons throughout the year. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
Comic
sounds cool.
books is where Star Wars is thriving currently. There are so many series going on right now. So there are 4 High Republic series coming out for Phase 2. There's the mainline Adventures. So these are the 2 big ongoing series.
Hmm.
There's High Republic: The Blade, which follows one of the characters from Phase 1 when they were younger.
Okay.
And there's The Nameless Terror, which I know absolutely nothing about.
That sounds so cool.
So far we have mainline Adventures and Blade already coming out. Nameless Terror will be coming out, I think, end of this month as a first issue. Then in February we have Quest for the Jedi, which is a one-shot written by Claudia Gray, who wrote Lost Stars
Oh yeah.
last episode. We also have mainline comics, which are taking place currently between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. We have 4 of those: Star Wars, Darth Vader, Doctor Aphra, and Bounty Hunters, which are going to span the whole gap between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And we also have the Hidden Empire miniseries, which is ongoing currently. I don't want to spoil too much of that
Okay.
because I want you to go in blind when we get to it.
Okay,
It's a
I'll
big
keep that in
ask,
mind.
but it does some crazy things, and I'm really liking it.
Wow.
We also have Hyperspace Stories, which is a Dark Horse comic. This is kind of anthology, jumping around the timeline, but there's hints of an ongoing narrative throughout it. And once the issues are out, if you put them in chronological order, you'll apparently get a secret second narrative.
That's cool.
We also have Han Solo and Chewbacca, which is a 10-issue series. I think issue 8 is currently out, so it's nearing the end. And we have Yoda, which is another 10-issue series. Yoda is going. Han Solo and Chewbacca is spaced between Solo and A New Hope. It's kind of filling in that gap a bit. Involves in doing heists for Jabba. It's very chaotic. And
Sounds fun.
Yoda is going to the 3 different narratives. So 3 of 3 and 1 started off, following Yoda in 3 different points of his life.
That also sounds really interesting,
Lastly,
actually.
I have no idea what to expect from these books, but I'm excited to get to them eventually.
Mm.
To round things out, we have a couple of mini-series. One about Sana Starros, who is a character I'm assuming you know nothing about.
Yeah, I know nothing about this man or woman or they them.
Woman. Very bisexual woman.
Oh,
Um, Currently in Afra's mainline series. She's been in the comics since 2015, mostly my mainline stuff. So this is going to be set before A New Hope for her, giving us a bit of her origin story.
hey, cool.
And we have Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red. Black, White, and Red is a series Marvel have done a few of for different characters. There's been like a Wolverine one, there's been a Deadpool one. This is the first time Star Wars is getting kind of a sub-series that normal Marvel comics gets brought over.
That's cool. It's kind of a
So this is going to be a
crossover,
four
kind of.
issue, kind of. It's going to be a 4-issue anthology series with Jason Aaron, who did the original 2015 Star Wars run, coming to do an ongoing story from each issue.
Mm.
So I think overall from it, we're going to get 9 different Vader stories. And Blister Creatives, they've said so far, is very exciting.
Yo.
This is also the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, so we're getting some one-shots of that movie coming out. So far they've announced Jabba's Palace and Ewoks, and again, I know nothing about what to expect for these, but I'm very interested to get to them when they come out. And that is everything announced for 2023 so far.
A real big mix of things.
Yep, and we're probably going to get to none of these things this year.
We've got a hell of a backlog, shall we say.
Here's to getting through it. Speaking of getting through it, would you like to read us the second opening crawl of the episode?
Of course. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, it's a period of renewed hope for the rebellion. The evil Galactic Empire's greatest weapon, the Death Star, has been destroyed by Chewbacca, warrior son of planet Kashyyyk, with some help from his trusty sidekick Han and his friends Luke and Leia. But Chewie is not one to grandstand. There is still much to accomplish. The Battle of Yavin reverberates through the galaxy as our Wookiee hero embarks on a very important and personal secret mission. Unfortunately for Chewbacca, his loner spacecraft proves to be what they refer to in the Outer Rim as a hunk of junk.
So this comic is written by Jerry Duggan. It's his only Star Wars work besides a Beckett's one-shot which came out alongside Solo. And the
Ooh.
art is by Phil Noto, who has done more Star Wars work, including the Poe Dameron series. And it's good because I love Phil Noto's art. Jerry Duggan and
Nice.
Phil Noto recently did uh, a I think it's 12-issue run on Cable from the X-Men together, and I adore it. Jerry is a really good writer based on his X-Men work, and as I already said, I love Phil's artwork.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of A Crawl?
Basically, Chewbacca did everything in A New
Yeah, you
Hope.
kind of know whose point of view that crawl's
Yeah.
from.
It's like, I can't believe Chewbacca did everything. I had to like stop myself from laughing when it with help from his trusty sidekick Han. I'm like, well, they're not wrong.
Yep.
But also, it's very, very funny. Now that I think about it, Han does kind of seem more like Chewbacca's sidekick at times than Chewbacca does Han's sidekick,
Mhm.
I will say.
It's just Han can speak English. Well, Galactic Basic.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only difference between the two of them. That's it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I would like to know what his secret mission is.
We will find that out
Ooh,
eventually.
I've done it again, haven't I?
Meanwhile, yep, on
I'm
the planet
sorry.
Andelm 4,
Oh,
Arax and his daughter Zaro have borrowed money from Jaum. I hope I'm saying it right. It's Jaum. How would you pronounce that?
I would say Jaum, yeah.
Jaum. And he's come to claim. Sadly, they borrowed Imperial credits, which have taken a bit of a dive due to current galactic events. And because of
Mm,
this, Arax and his daughter are being sent to the Amdale beetle caverns to work off their debt, mining these beetle larvae, which have very valuable chemicals inside.
not the beetle caverns.
Arax, yep, they're mining beetle larvae.
Wow,
It's a really cool idea. I like it a lot.
it is a
That
cool
made it sound
idea.
like it's bad in concept. It's not. I like it.
I feel bad for the poor beetles. My God.
It's fine. They can't speak. Arax helps Zora escape the
Wait, wait,
mine.
wait, wait. This is a Chewbacca comic. Sam,
Yeah, forget about it.
read the room.
Forget about it. Arax helps Zora escape, but sadly her escape is quickly noticed. She steals a speeder but doesn't know where to go. So she tries the law office, but the cop is like, look kid, should be obvious. Jaram pays us off. So then she tries to take her speeder to sell to get some credits to buy help. But the guy she's trying to sell it to at the scrapyard knows who it belongs to, knows it's been stolen,
Hmm,
and knows there's a price on Zaro's head which is worth more than the speeder.
not good.
So he's coming to grab her when suddenly he's held up by a Wookiee grabbing his back. This poor Wookiee has crashed their A-wing starfighter and needs a replacement part, but he doesn't have the money to pay for it.
Oh,
This dealer says that, turns around to see where Zara's gone, but she's disappeared. It's like, look, dude, you gotta get the money. So
hey, I'm
Chewbacca,
walking it.
hey, so Chewbacca goes to the local bar and starts winning Sabak. And
Hell yeah.
the droid is like, look, I've checked, he's not cheating, he's just good at this game. So Chewbacca buys himself some dinner, sits down, and at this moment, Zoro runs into the bar, being chased by Jaram's men, including a dog boy.
A dog boy.
Yep, a dog boy.
Oh my God.
This dog boy is a shift star. Shistavian,
You're doing so
and
good.
his name is Tyvek. Tyvek for Shiftarian. He's walking around this bar looking for Zoro. He like stops by Chewbacca's table and is like, "Hey," and Chewbacca just looks up. So he moves on, and of course Zoro is hiding under Chewbacca's table. She climbs up and sits next to him and starts, says thank you. Chewbacca goes, "Oh," and she's like, "I don't understand what you said, but what you're eating smells amazing, and I haven't eaten in ages." So Chewbacca gives her his food, and then like she finishes eating, he leaves the bar, buys a part with money he won, and Zoro's just following him like, "Wow, it's so cool that you won all that money gambling. My dad used to gamble, but then he lost everything, so he doesn't do that anymore."
Don't gamble, kids.
Ah, so where are you going? Have you got a ship around here somewhere? Ah, it'd be cool if we had a ship. We could go anywhere. I want to leave this place, but sadly my dad's trapped in a mine. And Chewbacca's just growling every now and again. Zoro doesn't understand a word he's saying. He gets back to his A-ring and starts fixing it. uh, as he fixes, Zoro is trying to convince him to help her save her dad from the mine. She's saying that, like, wow, since you won't help me, you must really love the Empire. And Chewbacca kind of loses it, just really angry.
That's a hell
So,
of a
okay,
thing to
okay,
say
I
to a
get it.
guy.
I get it. She kind of concedes, she's like, I guess we'll have to go on living life as slaves. I'm going to be caught eventually, go back there. And that's when Chewbacca roars even louder and climbs into his cockpit. Zoro gives up, starts walking away. Then Chewbacca growls again. He's lifting his bowcaster high. He's like, yes, you're going to come help me. Meanwhile, Jaum is meeting with Imperials who are eager to use his mine to help fund the war machine because
A lot
they
of
need a
money in
lot of
beetles.
resources again for some reason. Yep, these love is chemical. They are useful in some way. We
Hmm.
forgot to look at the cover for the first issue of this series.
I did actually go in and have a look at it.
Okay, so we've got a nice big Chewbacca, and that is Zoro underneath, and that is Phil Notto's art on the cover.
It's beautiful, I will say. It's really, really pretty.
hmm And if
I
we go to
love
the
the
third
colours.
issue's cover, going ahead a bit,
Yes.
the guy in the background there is Jaume,
Oh, is that
just so
him?
you can get a bit of his vibe. Jaume's
Ah,
kind of mask which siphons gas. I'm not sure what species he is. I don't think it's named,
he looks like
but
one
he's
of
the chrome
the
boss.
he look it's literally just the eyes. He looks like one of the dudes from Mass Effect.
He
But
does have a
just
very
in
Mass
the
Effect
eyes.
look about him.
Yeah, he does.
That's not just you. But yeah, his first three covers, there's not really much to say about. It's Chewbacca, it's Zoro, the third one we have Jam.
Amazing art though. Amazing.
Great art, but I don't know if it's inspired as the Leia covers.
Fair enough.
You can disagree if you want to.
No, no, no. I don't disagree. I prefer the composition of the layer covers, but I prefer the style of these ones. That's not that I don't like the layer cover style because I really do. I think
Mhm.
there's good merits to both of them. But yeah, I just think these are a little bit simpler in composition. But the first one, the
Yep.
colors are really, really cool.
I agree. Again, that's the one that's used on all trades for this. If you buy a copy of
Mm,
this, that's the one you're going to see on the front.
I wouldn't be complaining.
Moving on to issue two. Zoro shows Chewie the entrance from a distance on a mountain looking down at Jaume's base. And Zoro wants Chewie to go into an air vent to infiltrate. Chewbacca is against it, but Zoro points out that he has the easiest job here. Next panel, she's been captured by Jaume's crew and is returned to the
Oh,
mines. It's okay though, it's part of the plan.
okay, cool.
She's reunited with her dad and the other miners. She has a little transmitter which she checks, and it's still getting a signal even with it underground. So she like heads through to the back of the mine, um, finds a secluded spot, and when she stops, Chewbacca knows she's found a place and starts entering the vent. Sadly, when he enters the vent, he gets flashbacks to when he was caught by Trandoshans and put in a little cage for transport. And he climbs
Oh,
back out, really claustrophobic, and just yelling at himself.
oh, Chewy.
Arax, so Zoro's dad, is meeting with Jam in the entrance. trying to convince him to let his daughter go free. And it's Alex and another miner there. Jam explains that, I'm selling this place, my workforce is included in the price.
Mm.
And the other miner is not happy about this. He doesn't want to live his life as a slave. So he goes to attack Jam. But Tyvek kills him first.
Oh.
This leads a bit of a panic. Alex runs back into the mine, and the other miners heard the gunshots. They're all panicking, and Jam's enforcers, besides Tyvax, are going in to, kind of chase him down and try and calm him down. Maybe
Yeah.
shooting for along the way, but that's their right. They get to the dead end where Zara is, and they're about to start shooting when behind them, Chewbacca's head pops out the ceiling. He comes down, and this is all from. It's like four panels of Zara's face, and on the shadows you just see Chewbacca's shadow and the guard's shadows just flying everywhere,
That's very
and
cool.
like Zara's expression getting more and more happy. It's really well done. Chewbacca shoots the last of the bowcaster. It's at that point that Alex is like, "You shouldn't do that." Chewbacca's like, "Oh." So, oh, by the way, the lava's chemical juices very explosive. Probably don't shoot here.
So that's why they're useful.
So Chewbacca has a plan. He picks up his metal rod and a Gonk droid, attaches metal rod to the Gonk droid, just starts electrocuting people as they come past.
The ultimate weapon.
They get to the exit, and there's one last guy at a distance. He's got a gun. He's like, "You idiot, you've brought a Gonk droid to a gunfight." So Chewbacca just throws the Gonk droid at him, and he's stuck underneath it. He walks out of the exit, nice stride, and at a distance, Jam and Tyvek look down. Jam's like, "Well, it's a shame all my enforcers are gone. It's a shame I'm losing this much chemical." And Tyvek is like, "Well, with a Wookiee, you need to make sure they're dead." Chewbacca looks around, realizes he's surrounded by crates of the beetles, and Tyvek just snipes one, big explosion, end of issue. Hope Chewbacca's not dead.
I mean, I hope Chewbacca's not dead because we have more issues.
The secret of this comic is that Chewbacca is replaced by another Chewbacca, who has
No, not
two B's in his
again.
name, and he's a bit taller than the original Chewbacca.
It's just a new guy. It's just a new guy each time, and his name just gets further and further away from Chewbacca with each issue.
For some context, in a legend story called Dark Empire, Luke ends up getting cloned. Is it Dark Empire or is it Heir? I can't remember. In
I've
one of
heard of
them,
this.
Luke gets cloned, and the second Luke is Luke with two U's.
Luke Skywalker.
So you can clearly distinguish the two.
That's amazing. This is like in the first Pokemon movie. You know when Mewtwo makes clones of all the Pokemon, and you can tell they're the clones because they have like these like markings on them.
I can't remember that movie, but sure.
What? You don't religiously watch the first Pokemon movie for the masterpiece that
I'll
it is.
watch it again soon. I'll watch it again at some point.
Yeah, do it. It's fun.
I think it's his anniversary this year, isn't it?
Is it? Hang on, I'm
25
gonna
years or something.
hold on. Pokemon movie.
You call yourself a fan.
I can't remember when it came out. It came out in 1998, apparently.
Yeah, so 25 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
That's my useless trivia about Pokemon movie.
Yeah, I can't believe that you know more about Pokemon than I do. Oh no! Wait! It was released
Oh,
in the UK in 2000.
that's for UK though. Who would live
You're
there?
wrong. You're wrong.
The UK don't even have proper protection for their trans children.
Oof. I mean, yeah, we are a backwards nation.
I don't know why well, I know exactly why I'm getting so political with the episode, but wow. Come on, guys, do better.
Please, we're all moving to Scotland after this.
If you want to move to Scotland, I'm down.
Hell yeah.
Issue 3. Jam and Tyvek get on a speeder and they're driving away. And Tyvek's like, oh man, it kind of sucks we lost all our workforce there. Even if any survive, will be trapped in mine now. And Jam's like, you know what? Doesn't matter. Summer price will be gone. but the Empire will still buy it. When we're on board, we can just replace them with droids anyway. It will be the most profitable prison in the Empire. And so that's like, yeah, I guess. But I sure hope that Wookiee didn't survive. It'd be
I'm
bad if he
so
did.
disappointed about it. Yeah, I guess we could be the most profitable prison in the Empire.
Most profitable jail in the Empire. You wanted prison industrial complex? Here it is.
Here it is, it's happening.
Cut to Chewbacca, who did survive, and is holding up a support beam. His leg's on fire, but it's okay because Zoro runs over and puts it out. Arax comes over and is like, Zoro, why are you coming back here? You're being so dumb. And she replies, is it really the time to yell at me, Dad? To which he says, I'm going to yell at you now in case we don't make it out of here.
Just in case that we both die here, I need you to know that you've been disciplined at this time.
Good parenting?
Okay, listen. Look, this man doesn't seem like the best parent in the world, I'm gonna be honest.
He's trying. That's got to count for something, right?
Is he? Is he trying? He did gamble and then he had to take a loan from a really bad dude. Now he's lended them both into the beetle mines. So
The lava mine. But it's funny you should mention the beetles, because they're being kept away by an electric pulse, which the explosion has knocked out. So as Chewbacca, Arax, and Zoro are walking back to the group, the beetles start climbing out the walls. At
John
this
Paul
point,
and Ringo, here they are.
stay away from that Ringo. It's highly poisonous. I don't know why we're telling you all these important details about the natural creatures when when they're already dangerous, but it's fine. As long as they don't swarm. They turn around, and of course there's a big wave of beetles swarming behind them, so they
Oh
run.
no.
Chewbacca grabs his bowcaster, turns around, shoots down the supports, collapses the tunnel behind them. The beetles can't get to them, but they can't get to the exit.
These poor beetles, man. Like,
And
what did
that's
the
the last we
beetles do?
saw of Paul, Ringo, John, and George.
Oh god, no. They've released their last album.
That was the end of Magical Mystery Tour. I guess now they can form Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Cave Band.
Hearts Cave Band. I hate that. I just want you to know I hate that.
Good. To get back to the main group of miners, they're trying to discuss ways to get out. They could try and tunnel out, at like an angle, but it would take too long and there's a risk of a cave in. So the safest way to do it would be to just dig straight up. But they're all humans. They can't climb, just straight up. If only there was someone used to trees and things here.
If only.
So Chewbacca sent to dig upwards, and he's climbing up, digging his way out, and he has another PTSD claustrophobia attack. He pushes through, he gets to the surface, and he throws a rope down for all the other miners to escape.
Amazing. Good job, Chewbacca. You're the real hero.
Yeah, they should name a comic after him. If
They
you
really
ask me.
should. The thing is, though, is
I
that
don't know why this is called Arax and Zoro. It should be called Chewbacca.
Arax and Zoro and the Beatles.
Future the Beatles.
The thing is, though, is that he did everything in A New Hope, honestly.
Yep. Honestly, this whole series should be called Chewbacca Wars.
Chewbacca Wars. It's not Wookiee Wars or anything like that. It's just
No.
Chewbacca Wars.
Chewbacca. A new Chewbacca.
It should be called Scott
This time
Chewbacca
with
versus
two
the
Bs.
universe.
If Chewbacca ever saw Palp would be dead.
He
That's
would.
all I'm saying.
And he wouldn't return somehow.
Chewbacca would make sure of that.
Damn right.
Chewbacca would crush Palp with the moon. So on the surface, Zoro, on the surface, Arax wants to leave, just get the credits and run. But Zoro is finally taking a stand. She's like, nope, this is our home and we should fight for it. Arax disagrees, but he allows Zoro to go help Chewie finish fixing his ship. And then she has to come back. He has to care for the wounded here. So, it's equal times. He goes to Chewbacca, and says, "Look after her. She's all I've got. By the way, I know you're just going to fix your ship, but definitely don't go near the spaceport." At the spaceport, Zoro introduces Chewbacca to I-7 and Sevox. Sevox is a human who has lost his sight, but his biology rejects implants, so he wears like this VR headset looking thing.
That's cool.
And he sees through the eyes of a protocol droid. So I-7 is his eyes and ears.
That's actually really cool.
It's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
He's like a prepper, and he didn't know who would try to take the planet, whether it would be Empire or Rebellion, but basically has a lot of guns and bombs and things.
Amazing.
So they're gonna take his gear and start fighting back. In a spice den nearby, Jean is just chilling with two honeys, one either side,
Hell yeah.
when one of the enforcers brings in a miner. This guy escaped the mines when Chewbacca freed them, ran straight back to his home, only to find out that it's not his home anymore. It's one of Jam's compounds. So his guards just instantly caught him, dragged him here, and Jam is very open about the fact he's going to kill this guy, but first he wants to know how they escaped. So this guy instantly spills the beans, the Wookiee helps, and so the Wookiee's alive, unplugs one of his pipes, and just sprays the gas he breathes onto this guy's face, and his face melts.
Oh my god! How graphic is it?
Teen comic graphic.
Okay, so not like Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever graphic.
Nah.
But like,
not that
God,
graphic.
that's messed up. Also, I'm really sorry I'm about to make this joke. I'm really surprised that they've allowed a miner into this spice club. Carry on, I'm sorry.
Jam contacts the Empire and is like, "Hey, I know you're buying this mine from me, but how about a few troops as a down payment?" On to issue 4.
Oh.
Chewie, Zoro, Sevox, and I-7 are on a speeder. They're heading back to the spaceport. They've gone somewhere, not really sure what they're doing. And Sevox finds out through his implants, through his not implants, he gets like a transmission through his droid that there's a Star Destroyer in orbit.
Okay.
Zoro says it's okay. She has a plan, to which Sevox replies that filling a droid with explosives isn't really a plan.
It can be a plan.
Chewie finishes repairing this little green astromech which was broken as they arrive at the spaceport. And as he unloads it and a bunch of junk off the speeder, Sevox makes clear that A, if they manage to find an Imperial Protocol droid, can they bring it back to him? The optics on it are amazing. And I-7's like, "Oh, you're going to replace me that easily?" Then B, he wants to make clear that if they are captured by the Empire and interrogated, either they don't know who he is, or I-7's is enslaving him.
Whoa, dude!
One of the two.
I thought this guy was cool, and yet he's just gone, yeah, if you can find a replacement for my lame-ass friend, then, like, please do that. And also, if anybody asks, he is enslaving me.
I want to get out of it.
Oh my god, this dude!
3 figures walk through a crowd outside the crowded spaceport. There's a massive droid, there's a green astromech, and there's someone who is very obviously Zoro wearing a mask. Kind of like the mask Leia wears in the beginning of Return of the Jedi.
Okay, yes.
They get to the front door and a stormtrooper questions Zoro why they're here. And she rolls charisma, gets a 20. It's like,
yeah.
I've got to get this murder droid to guard Jam's ship. He asked for it personally, so they're let through. In the hangar, they see Jam outside his ship, and he instantly questions him. "What are you doing here?" And to which Zoro just looks to the stormtrooper next to him and goes, "Why are there locals still in this hangar? I thought you meant to get rid of them all." And this just confuses everyone. The stormtrooper like looks at Jam, and Jam looks at him and is like, "Didn't hire locals to help protect us, did you?" Like, "No, fairly sure we didn't, but no one tells me anything. It's very possible that they have been." And Jam orders for stormtroopers to remove him, and that's when this big murder droid starts shooting all of them down. Zoro sends this little green astromech to get onto Jam's ship. Meanwhile, the murder droid runs out of power on the guns and starts to rip off its plates, revealing all along it was Chewbacca in disguise.
Whoa! Like, murder droids aren't real? I'm so disappointed.
They are real, but
they're
this isn't one of
real.
them.
Hell yeah.
Yep, just you wait.
What?
Um, so Jam orders for shot to take off, but Tyvek, who was going to be piloting it, ignores him. He wants this Wookiee dead. He wants revenge for the men. He goes, takes a couple of swings. The astromech gets shot on the boarding ramp, so it's broken, and a pilot's climbing into an ATST behind him. It's all chaos.
That is
Chewbacca
chaos.
gets back. Chewbacca's back up against an engine. He's like, I know what to do. So he just switches it on. And Tyvek's like, what? No. And they're just engulfed in flames because he was standing behind this thing.
Oh god.
The engine flies up, and as the ATST's power is like powering up its weapons, this engine hits it, knocks it over. And while all this is happening, Zara manages to fix the astromech and get it onto the shuttle. Her and Chewbacca start running away. Jan runs into the shuttle and takes off. And Zara is so excited. She's like, yes! He's heading to the Star Destroyer. Maybe the bomb's timed correctly, so it will explode and the whole thing will go. At
Hell
that
yeah.
point, some stormtroopers see them leaving. There's now this little girl and this massive Wookiee. Very confusing. Uh, so Zara rolls charisma again, doesn't work, they're detained, and there's orders to
No.
take them to the Star Destroyer for interrogation.
No.
The Star Destroyer, which they're very hoping is about to explode. If we go back to your little pack and look at the issue 4 cover, we can see the screen astromech getting filled with explosives.
Meep.
Meep.
It's amazing. This poor astromech.
And then the issue 5 cover will give us a little sneaky peek.
Oh, that's them on the Star Destroyer.
What are you
Whoa.
seeing, Emily? Explain it to us.
I'm seeing. Okay, so I'm seeing Chewbacca going ooh, and like he's got like a wire and he's using it like a Tarzan swing, and he's got the girl whose name eludes me is grabbing onto his back.
Zara?
Zaro, that's her name, and they're going no, and then there's stormtroopers just firing rapidly at them and missing them very
In
wildly
Stormtrooper fashion.
in stormtrooper fashion. Indeed, there's 4 of them, and they are failing miserably in stormtrooper
Yep,
fashion.
that's the way it goes. Issue 5. In the Star Destroyer's hangar, Imperial Commander Kai is talking to an Imperial protocol droid about the prisoners coming up, who is apparently a girl and her Wookiee. The shuttle lands.
A
At
classic
this
combo.
point, yep, it lands right next to Germ's shuttle, the one which is about to explode.
Oh no.
And this is when the protocol droid turns and is very confused, like, I've just lost the signal from the shuttle. It's here, it's fine. The hatch opens, and a stormtrooper's helmet just falls down the ramp, followed by Zaro aiming her gun right at Commander Kai. Kai's like, look,
Ah,
don't shoot me. We can reach an arrangement. We can negotiate. And Zaro says that we probably could, but sadly I take orders from a big guy. And down comes Chewbacca. He's like holding one stormtrooper under an arm. There's another stormtrooper on his back trying to stop him.
immense.
And the protocol droid walks over like, I know how to speak She-Wok. I can negotiate. And starts growling. Chewbacca takes one of the guys, just throws it at his protocol droid, rips it to shreds.
Yeah,
With
fuck,
all his
fuck that
muscle
guy.
gone,
Fuck the blind guy as well.
yep, he doesn't need a new protocol droid. They,
No,
they
he
show it, I'm
sucks.
like, oh wow, is he gonna get a new protocol droid? Nope.
Justice for Otoman.
Kai realizes he's left defenseless. He's like, look, whatever you want, I'll do it. And Zoro's like, it's fine. We're actually here to help you. You see, that Jarm guy is a rebel spy. We think he's brought explosives onto your ship, and we want to warn you.
Ooh.
Kai is like, explosive, what? And looks in the ship. And on the hangar, there's the green astromech, beeping away. At that point, the hangar doors open, and out walks Jarm, handful of credits, sees Zara and Chewbacca. He's like, what are you doing here? Zara says, we've told them the truth about you, you traitor. And that's when the ship explodes.
Oh my god.
In the fire, Kai manages to get through the hangar door, close it, so he's now locked behind it with the stormtroopers and Jarm. In the hangar, Chewbacca and Zaro are just left, no escape. The I can't remember what it's called. You know the kind of thing that stops the atmosphere coming through, kind of blue,
Oh, I know
shimmery
what you mean. I
stuff.
don't know what it's called.
That's fading, so the air's about to be sucked out.
Ah.
Zoro's not having an escape, but Chewbacca grabs her, starts climbing, and there's a TIE bomber in the ceiling. So they get inside. Uh, as they take off, Zoro is very much in fear of Chewbacca's flying. She saw his A-wing buried in the ground. She doesn't want to crash. Chewbacca hits a control, drops a second bomb. That's at least not the go.
Oh,
They manage to fly away unscathed, and on the planet below, they crash not too far away from his A-wing.
immense.
Chewbacca walks over to his A-wing. He says he needs to leave, despite Zoro trying to get him to stay. She's like, "I can teach you flying lessons." And he points to the sky. But before he goes, he gives Zoro a gold medal, one that he received at Yavin.
Wow.
Zoro tries to turn it down originally, but concedes that, Chewbacca's got this warrior vibe going, and this medal really doesn't go with it. So she takes it, and Chewbacca leaves.
He's like, I'm too cool for this shit. You can have it.
One of Jam's speeders pulls up outside Arx's house, and he is very concerned. Then Zoro gets out, and look, Jam's gone. We're gonna look after Speeder now. Borwiki's also gone, uh, but we can probably sell this for some money. She doesn't say that, but that's what I'm imagining she's thinking.
So you're just gaslighting me now.
Yep. I'm sorry. Um, she's talking to her dad, and she's like, she's worked out that Chewbacca was part of a rebellion, and that he has more important places to be, that him and his friends are fighting for something bigger than themselves out in the galaxy. Meanwhile, Chewbacca is flying to Kashyyyk, and he has this box of him. He gives it to his son, and inside it's a little bandolier.
Oh,
He
oh,
says hello to the other Wookiees, heads outside, and the Falcon comes up behind him, and he's off for his next adventure.
oh,
Meanwhile, back on the Imperial Star Destroyer,
oh.
Zhao is in a cell, arguing that the Empire's missing out on a great deal. The mine was going to be so profitable. Kai is there. He's like, "I don't believe there was a mine. You bring a bomb onto our ship, we think you're a rebel spy. And you know what? Our hyperdrive's busted. For the next trip, you're going to be sharing this cell with this torture droid."
Oh God.
And John's trying to convince him he's not a rebel spy. They don't believe him. Lock the door and they're like, "Oh, by the way, without the hyperdrive, the closest Imperial base is a 3-week journey. Have fun."
Fucking hell. Oh God. That's a really dark end.
Yeah, but he's a crime boss.
I
It's
mean, he
fine.
is a crime. He is a crime boss, but then again, so is Boba Fett.
Is he though?
I mean, I don't know what he wants to be.
Why does Boba Fett want to
However,
be a crime boss?
why does Boba Fett want to be a crime boss today? Because he's very angry about the state of Game Freak's graphics department.
And he wants to force him to crunch.
He wants to let them crunch. They have the money and the resources not to crunch. Good God.
No game company has money and resources not to crunch. You should know that by now.
That's mm,
What did you think of Star Wars Chewbacca?
I really enjoyed it. I thought I liked it better than Leia actually.
It's a lot quicker, it has great art,
Mm.
and it's got good comedy of just no one understanding the Wookiee.
It does. It's a nice little Star Wars story, isn't it? It's
Hmm.
it's not overly involved, but I like the whole like beetle mine thing. That was quite fun.
Yep.
And yeah, that girl's father is not a very good father. However, I maintain this. He's not very good.
These are two more comics that I haven't revisited since 2016. And while Leia, I don't recommend to people, this is one I still think about favorably, and on revisit, I can see why. Like, it doesn't matter,
Yeah,
it's not universe shaking, but as a fun little Chewbacca adventure, it's just a fun thing, and
yeah, it
works out.
is. And also, his son got a little tiny bandolier.
Yep,
Oh, so precious.
Chewbacca it's easy to forget that Chewbacca is a working dad
He is. He is a working father.
who owes a life debt to this man, so is forced to fight wars.
Can you even imagine
But
if that was like your relationship setup? Like, imagine if you like married someone, and then they came home one day and they were like, "Hey, I'm sorry I've been away. I was captured by some bad dudes, and this guy saved my life, and
so
I'm
we're
now in
going to
life
fight a war.
debt. Yeah, we're going to go fight a war. Apparently, the bad dudes need taken down. So me and this guy, we're gonna go fight a war, and I don't anticipate this taking too long. But
This is
and then
me.
fast
This is
forwards.
my indentured boyfriend Chewbacca, and this is my indentured boyfriend Chewbacca's family.
But do the kids call him Uncle Han? Who can say?
Ooh, I was gonna say that Ben calls Chewbacca Uncle Chewie, but I'm not sure he does. I
Yeah,
know it's Uncle
actually,
Lando.
oh my god, yeah, he calls him. No, it's Uncle Wamwo. I don't know
I,
if the
I imagine
what
Chewbacca is an uncle. I can't
he's
imagine
got
him
to
not
be.
being.
Maybe if they hadn't have cut that torture scene from The Rise of Skywalker, we could have known the truth.
I
But
I have a whiteboard here. Just episodes since Emily mentioned Ben. It's at 0. I don't need to change it.
it was at 0 at the start of this episode.
Yeah, I was just checking it again at the end. So before we go, little quick discussion of the new Mandalorian season 3 trailer.
Yes, very exciting. Oh,
The trailer we saw.
I thought that, well, a lot happened. A lot
Mhm.
happened, but I thought it looked really cool. Um,
Yep.
I like the fact that we're going back to Mandalore. I think that'll be really sick. Um,
Because one of the few episodes of Clone Wars you have seen is the Siege of Mandalore.
yes, that is one of the few episodes of Clone Wars that I've seen, and I quite enjoyed it actually. I thought it was really good.
Hmm. It
Have
is the best
we?
the series has.
I might be forgetting something important. Have we been to Mandalore recently in live action? Did we go there at some point during the Mandalorian? And I'm forgetting about it. It's been a
Uh,
while since I've seen it.
there was there was a flashback to Mandalore in Book of Boba Fett,
Okay,
but I don't think we've been to Mandalore or Concord Dawn or anywhere around there.
interesting. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that. Also, there were
Hmm.
there were a bunch of dudes with lightsabers.
Yep, I'm imagining that'll be another now annual Order 66 flashback.
An annual Order 66 flashback. Because you were
Yep.
saying earlier, you were like, oh, I wonder who's going to be the person that this time around to force Grogu into an Order 66 flashback.
I was half joking, but also I imagine that's what's happening there. There is still a mystery of who saved Grogu from the Jedi Temple, and I would
That's
like to
true.
see a bit more play. I'd like to see the decision for him to be a Mandalorian over a Jedi waver from a bit. Like it's hard when
Yes.
your opponent doesn't speak, but if they could show some of that inner conflict, I feel like that'd be fun to see. Maybe Grogu
Yeah.
just doesn't care. He was with Luke for what, a week?
Mm. Yeah, that's true.
I liked the Babu Fricks.
The Babu Fricks. Yeah, there was a dude, wasn't there?
One of the good things from Rise of Skywalker returning to us.
Babu Frick was perhaps the best part of the Rise of Sky. No, actually, in saying that, I can't say that with all of my heart. He was one of the best things in the Rise of
The best
Skywalker.
bit in Rise of Skywalker was Rey finally getting her own lightsaber in the last
Within the
film.
last in the last 5 minutes. Not
Last
even
five
that, in the
seconds.
last 2 minutes. Yeah. It is a cool lightsaber though, we will say that.
Hmm.
But uh what else was I thinking
You wanted to
during
mention the
watching
guy in
that
the
trailer?
cave.
The
The
guy
guy
in
in
the
the cave
cave.
that Grogu pushes away.
Yes, the big dude in the cave. Yeah. I
You
was
asked
like
me earlier if we'd seen him before. I can confirm we have seen him before. If
we
you've ever
have.
played Skyrim, when you walk up to High Hrothgar for the first time, he will
He's a
jump
rough
down and
stroll.
ambush you. When I saw that scene, that was my first thought, because it's like in the cave, you're about to go in the cave and he just jumps down. It's the most
Yeah,
annoying thing.
the troll jump scare. I remember that scaring the shit out of me the first time I played Skyrim. And that's really funny.
I,
Somebody needs to
it's
tell
hard to tell.
Grogu
I've
that
seen
he's
him
weak to
before.
fire.
It's nice to see Grogu like setting up for himself now, though.
Yeah,
His power is
it's
growing.
true. His power is Groguing.
I'm also hoping that like this series overall will have more sense of direction. Like
Hmm.
season two, I said it before, there are so many backwater pilots in it.
Yeah.
I felt it lacked some identity, and again, it has some of the best episodes in the show in it. But as an overall season, I think season one had more of a compass. I'm hoping season three
Yeah.
reclaims that.
It was the season of, hey, look at this character. Do you know this guy?
Hey,
Kind
so we're gonna give Ahsoka a show, and we're gonna give this
of.
guy a show, and we're gonna give
Everyone gets a
Kara a show. Wait, backtracking my last one.
show. Yeah, maybe not that one. I think my last point that I want to bring up about
Not
the
to get
trailer, at
political.
least that I can think of, not to get political. No, we don't get political here.
As well as human rights.
We're trans rights are human rights. Non-political podcast. Uh, so
Star Wars is not political, so neither are we.
exactly, Star Wars has never been political. There's a guy in a he's flying around in Coruscant. I don't know who this guy is.
It looks like
I don't know if you
Coruscant.
remember.
I'm
Is it
not sure if it
Coruscant?
is. My first
Oh,
thought was it's Coruscant. So it's Dr. Pershing, who is the creepy doctor from the first two seasons.
oh my God, it's him.
Yep. My first thought was Coruscant, but I think at this point, again, I could be getting my timelines a bit mixed up. Coruscant. No, I don't think it. Huh. I can't remember whether we've seen Coruscant fall out of Imperial control in canon yet or not, but
Simple person. I see a
it.
big city and I say it's Coruscant.
I'm fairly sure it, like Coruscant's still Imperial. So if it was Coruscant, which was my first thought, it
Mm.
means escaped. But Mandalorian season two finished with him in New Republic custody.
I forgot this dude
So
existed.
so I think maybe it could be a different core world, which would be cool to see.
That would be cool, actually. We'll just have to see. Let's see how that
Right,
pans out.
right after I think I mentioned before that after Endor, the New Republic don't even bother with Coruscant because
Mm.
it was the House of Power, but they don't need it to lead. So they start a
Yeah.
new Senate, and the idea is that it will move around every few years to different planets. The first planet
See,
it's
now
on
that's a very smart
is
idea.
was the first planet it's on. I think the first planet it was on was Chandrila, which is Mon Mothma's homeworld.
Oh, interesting.
But we know it eventually goes to Hosnian Prime as well. So
Yeah,
it'll be cool
awkward.
to see Hosnian ever.
Aside from that, like one, like
I guess we
2 second clip
saw
that
it.
we got.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we saw it. Oh,
But yeah, that's that guy, and I'm interested to see what he's doing.
hell yeah. He's going to be up to some shady shit.
Hmm.
Also, there was a bunch of droids having a party as well, and I just wanted to bring that up. I know I said not that point was the
Yep.
last one to bring up, but a bunch of droids are having a party.
Again, I think that's a droid bar, and if you remember, like in New Hope, there's a bar that droids aren't allowed in, and
Mm.
then in season one of Mandalorian, it has a droid barkeeper now.
Oh,
So this is like that. Just go. I'm not sure if it's on Tatooine again. Like we do know they go back there, but if that bar is now just a fully droid bar,
it's just four droids by droids, droids only.
it's gone too far the other way. Now we're like, we
Gone
don't
too
serve
far.
your kind here, fleshy.
Fleshy, smooth skin.
Where's Doctor Mandible gonna hang now?
Honestly, who's to say? He can't hang with the droids. The droids don't want him there.
Nope, he's gonna have to take his ant body somewhere else. Anything else you'd like to say about this trailer?
uh,
I'm trying to think if I have
nothing.
anything to
The,
say.
the fact that I love Pedro Pascal with all my heart, and I want the world to know this.
Hmm. When we finish recording, I'm hoping to go watch the Last of Us TV show. So
Oh yeah. Oh, I've got to watch it.
we stan Pedro here.
We do stand Pedro. Again, not to be political, but he is a king and he says trans rights.
Love him. So before we go, I would like to this time actually remember to hype up our social medias before we leave. I say social medias. We have one social media. We are on Instagram at Crashing the Starfighter. And you can email us if you want to get in contact, crashingthestarfighter@gmail.com. If you want to answer
It's a
the
miracle they weren't
questions,
taken.
I know it's such a good name. In hindsight, I think it should be at CTS or at CTS, both were taken. So you have to type in the whole thing.
At least you don't have to put numbers at the end. It's not like Crashing the Starfighter XX __ 3.
Yeah, that's a good name. Huh. If you want to get in contact with feedback, if you want to answer the question, which I'm going to ask at the end of this, or if you'd like to tell us which podcast platform you would like to see us on. So far, we're on, I think, Podbeam, Spotify, and YouTube. If you want us to be anywhere else, let us know.
Yeah,
You can
please
email
do.
us. And the question for this week, Emily, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm prepared.
In the Chewbacca comic, we saw Chewbacca using a Gonk droid as a weapon. Gonk droids are a staple to the series, but can you tell me what they do? See you next time, guys.
Ooh.
Bye.
See you next time.